You are trying to get an AI to write you a creative story, but what you get back sounds like robotic, repetitive, like reading from the script. So you think, I'll just crack something up to make it more creative. But then it goes too far, the answers get random, incoherent, and useless. There is what you're missing. There are deals inside every LLM that control exactly this: how creative, how random, and how focused it gets. And in the next 8 minutes, you will learn exactly how to turn those deals. These deals are called temperature, top P, and a few others we will get into. Let's start with the most powerful one, the temperature. Think of a temperature as a randomness deal. At 0, the model is like a robot following a script. It will always pick the most likely next word. You ask the same question twice, you get nearly identical answers. Focused, predictable, boring sometimes. The middle, it is balanced. The model is willing to take some creative risks but still produces sensible output. Crank it up to 1.2, 1.5 or even 2.0. Now the model is willing to pick less likely words, more creative, more surprising, but also more likely to be incoherent. Here is what's happening inside. Every time the model generates a word, it calculates the probability of every possible next word. We know it from the previous videos. At low temperature, the model heavily favors to the most likely word. The probability distribution is sharp. Imagine a tall spike. At high temperature, the distribution flattens out. Suddenly, unlikely words become contenders, creative but chaotic. Here is the key insight. You are not changing what the model knows, you are changing which of its knowledge it chooses to use. Let me show you exactly what this looks like in practice. Here is the same prompt. Write a fantasy opening at 3 temperatures. At 0.1 you get something safe and predictable. It works, but it is what the model defaults to. At 0.7 you see more personality. Word choices are more varied, still makes sense. At 1.5 it gets wild. Creative, yes, but notice the phrase "free-sided moonlight." That's starting to break into nonsense territory. Now, top P is a different lever. It has same goal, to control creativity, but it works differently. Top P, also called nucleus sampling, doesn't smooth out the distribution. Instead, it cuts it off. At top P equal 0.9, you are saying, use only the words that make up the top 90% of probability. Low probability words are out. At top P equal 0.5, you even stricter. Only consider the top 50%, fewer options, less randomnesses. Think of it like a filter. Temperature is a volume knob. Top P is a filter that removes options entirely. Here is a practical difference. Temperature changes the odds of every word. All words stay in the pool. Top P changes which words are in the pool. It removes low probability words before the model even considers them. For most people, temperature is enough. Adjust it and see what happens. Top P is for fine-tuning edge cases. Developers use it, but beginners don't need it so often. In fact, most APIs recommend use one or the other, not both. If you are tweaking temperature, leave top P at its default. Let me take a quick reference. Most APIs default to temperature around 0.7 to 1.0 and top P around 0.9 to 0.95. These defaults are designed for general conversation, balanced between focused and creative. But your use case might be different, and that's where the next section matters. So, when do you use and what? Low temperature for anything where accuracy matters. You are extracting data, writing code, or answering factual questions. Walmart used this approach to automatically extract product attributes from hundreds of thousands of items. They needed consistency, but not creativity. Medium temperature for everyday tasks. Customers support general chat, writing emails. This is sweet spot for the most applications. You want the model to sound natural, not robotic, but also reliable. High temperature when you want creative surprise. Brainstorming product names, writing a short story, generating marketing copy. When you are trying to explore possibilities but not hit a target. The key here is to match the deal to your goal. If accuracy matters, go low. If creativity matters, go high. If you are not sure, start in the middle. Let me show you a real example. Here is the prompt. Generate the Python function to sort a list. At temperature 0.1, you get the standard, reliable approach. Boring, but it works perfectly every time. Now, if you crank the temperature to 1.5 with the same prompt, you might get fancy one-liner creative solutions or even broken code. Sometimes interesting, but often useless for production. Flip the scenario. Here is a prompt for creative writing. Write an opening paragraph for the sci-fi story. At temperature 0.2, you get something functional, safe, readable, but it could be any sci-fi opening, not personality. At temperature 1.0, the model takes risks. The language is more vivid, the imaginary is unexpected, and it has voice. For creative work, this temperature range is where the magic happens. And for customer support, at low temperature, responses are consistent and professional. The customer always gets the same quality and clarity. Trust is built through predictability. At high temperature, the bot sounds more natural, more like a real person. But watch, it becomes inconsistent. One customer gets a careful, structured response, another gets a rambling, uncertain one. For support, consistency is kind. You want medium to low temperature, reliability matters more than personality. Here is your decision tree. Does accuracy matters most? Go low. Do you want the natural but reliable? Go medium. Are you chasing creativity and novelty? Then go high. That's it. It is as simple as it is. But that is the rule that works every day. Now, there is where people mess up. You get bad output from the model, so you think, this is boring, robotic, I need more creativity, let me increase the temperature. So you crank it from 0.7 to 1.5, maybe even 2.0, and you send the prompt again, and it gets worse. Here is what's reality happening. The problem isn't the temperature, the problem is your prompt. Look at this bad prompt. Write something good. We already discussed such a kind of prompts in the previous videos, and if you missed them, just take a look, because a lot of useful information contains there. The model has almost no guidance. It is guessing at what you want. Raising the temperature just makes it guess more randomly. Now look at a good prompt. Write a product description in 50 words. Highlight durability and price. Use a friendly conversational tone. That's specific, clear, and constrained. Run this prompt at even low temperature, for example 0.3, and you will get better results than the bad prompt at temperature 2.0. So, as you see, the main trap is that people think the temperature is the magic lever, but it is not. It is the prompt that is magic. Temperature is just fine-tuning on the top of a solid prompt. Here is the full picture. A bad prompt with the low temperature, boring and unhelpful. A bad prompt with the high temperature, random and chaotic. A good prompt with the low temperature, solid, reliable and works. A good prompt with the high temperature is creative, varied and still coherent. The hierarchy is clear. Prompt quality beats temperature tuning, and it is set in stone rule. It happens always. So before you touch the temperature deal, ask yourself, is my prompt clear, specific and detailed? If the answer is no, fix the prompt first. Temperature is the seasoning, the prompt is the recipe. here is the quick bonus round. There are other deals too. Frequency penalty prevents repetition, useful when the model gets stuck saying the same thing over and over. Presence penalty encourages the model to introduce new topics, which is great for brainstorming. For 85% of use cases, you don't need these, but they exist if you need fine-grained control. There is also a min-p, an emerging sampling method from 2025. It is like top-p, but smarter. It adapts to how confident the model is. For now, it is mostly for open-source models. So here is your mental model. Temperature and top-p are levers. They do one thing, they control how the model chooses words. That's it, nothing else. Your prompt is the foundation. A clear, well-designed prompt beats fancy parameter tuning every time. Match the deal to the job. Accuracy go low, creativity go high, general chat stay in the middle. And remember that you are not broken the model and you are just this. You're just pointing it in a different direction. So it is time to accept your challenge. Pick a prompt you use regularly. Try it in the 3 different temperatures, for example 0.3, 0.7 and 1.2. See what changes and feel the difference. That's how you develop intuition for these deals. And if you want to go deeper into the prompt design, because that's where the real magic happens, we will cover that in the next videos. If you found this video helpful, learned something new, or discovered ways to simplify your workflow, boost your productivity or even save money, please subscribe my channel and hit the like, because it really helps me to grow and keep digging to discover new things and continue creating more content like this. Also, leave a comment below with your thoughts, questions and experiences. My goal is for us to learn, grow and build real AI expertise together, and your feedback is an important part of that. Thanks for watching and see you in the next videos. Laughing, dance all night.